welcome back to Mercury's Fundraising Today series. It is September. I'm here with Marco DeMeireles, and I'm going to let him go ahead and introduce himself.
Great. It's great to be here. As you know, I'm a founder of ANSA Capital based in New York. We are an equal partnership, generalist in nature, focused on early stage investing. We primarily invest in Series A and B companies, lead, co-lead, agnostic, and we're a team of 8 now, all in Soho together.
Amazing. And you guys have a beautiful office as
Thank
well. I'm
you.
very jealous you get to sit there every day.
We'd love to have you anytime.
All right, cool. So the way we always start this is just general sort of vibe check. How would you consider the fundraising environment right now? How would you describe it to somebody?
I guess there's the saying, your vibes attract your tribe, right? And in some ways, I think that rings true in that there's a wide spectrum here of activity. On
Yeah.
one end, you have many of the businesses that we've been engaged with that have gone on to raise financings at premium multiples where we were engaged at a certain valuation, and the financings that ended up getting done in that case were nearly 2x that number. That
Yeah.
was the case of 4 companies that I've worked with this quarter alone. And so those were generally in spaces that are pretty much in vogue. And I'd say there's another set of businesses, which you may be alluding to, that are feeling the exact opposite type of way. I think part of that is due to the industry structure and what's evolved. And so, when we were thinking about why and advising our companies, one of the things we realized as an example was that for all the funds that were raised in 2020, 2021, and 2022, the dry powder that people talk about,
Yeah.
it's actually trapped in 7% of managers. So the majority, over 90% of dry powder, are in 7% of management companies. And
Yeah.
the reality of those management companies is they have a lot of different businesses, frankly, a lot of people, and a lot of problems. And they're spending their time in those 3 ways, not necessarily thinking about allocating to your space at your stage. And so there's a dynamic there where if you're in that second bucket of founders, you're a bit frustrated on the why. And
Yeah.
we're working a lot with teams to help them work through that.
That's really helpful. Are you feeling a little bit of the post-summer kind of like pickup, or do you feel like people are a little bit slower to come out of that this year? Or do you feel like people didn't go on vacation at all?
I'd say we've never had a summer in a way. Like when you're building these types of businesses, there is no summer. Maybe
Yeah,
people on Fund 8 have summer. For us,
sure.
like we are always on and always engaged. And I think it's the reality of, who we are as people. And so this summer's been the most active period for us as a fund. Year to date, we have 4x headcount. We've seen and engaged with 900 companies as a team, and we've issued the most term sheets actually in Q3. And so it's been
Wow.
a very active summer for us as a firm.
Cool. So of those, 900 companies you guys have been talking to this year, what are you seeing in terms of the types of deals that are getting sort of the most confidence and sort of the easiest to get over the line versus some of the ones that are a little bit tougher? Or what are you sort of personally attracted to right now?
Yeah, I'd say in the first bucket, a lot of it is taste and derived from, frankly, your prior investments. And for me, and as us as a firm, we've been gravitating towards various verticals within SME tech. Think of everything from 2-person LLCs that are running painting companies to a mom and pop pizzeria to a legal service. And what we found is all of these disparate businesses on the surface have the same set of 3 consistent problems. It's get work. How do they find, frankly, more efficient work that is aligned with the type of projects they want to do? It's
Yep.
doing the work more efficiently, whether it's dealing with bloated staffing costs or otherwise. And then how do they get paid? And so between those 3 problems of get work, do work, and get paid, what we've seen is there's a series of new software tools, often LLM powered, that can run these businesses way more effectively than they have been in the past. And in many ways, it's analogous to running any of these companies 20 years ago in a move where before you didn't have software,
Right.
and when you did adopt software, how different, frankly, you spent your time and how much more efficient you've been. And so there's
Yep.
that type of deal we've been gravitating towards, and I've spent a lot of time there. And I'd say for the first part of your question around What's been less exciting, I think for us, it's pretty consistent. If you've built your business uh, on the backs of paid social, what we've never really gravitated towards those companies as an example, and frankly, we continue to avoid them. And characteristics like that we think impact the longevity and health of the employee base of the company at large over time.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. So, if I'm a founder that's kicking off a seed or a Series A right now, what advice do you have for me?
Yeah, so it's hard to be prescriptive on this, but I'd say, it's particularly important now because you're seeing a flood of companies try to really rush to raise before year end. And the
Yep.
difference between somebody that gets it done with the partner of their choice and efficiently versus not, we think comes along down to preparation, right? And so what we've done is create an FAQ doc that we advise companies to share with teams that they are prioritizing way prior to financing. It'll cover everything from really like the nitty gritty of go to market, where are your customers coming from by channel, how do you calculate productivity by rep in the case of a software company, what does it cost to onboard customers, like really answering those questions to the best of your ability prior to there even being a capital raising need will put you in a much better position to run an efficient process. And for us, the advice is really control what you can control. We do that ourselves, right? We control who we hire, who we give money to, who we take money from. And there are factors that companies can control as opposed to festering on the market. And we try to shape their time to controlling those things.
Yep. Yeah. I think that's really helpful advice, especially when you see founders just sort of really being overwhelmed by the ecosystem and by what's happening kind of around them. But, you can take those extra steps to stand out, and you can make it easier on the investor to write the memo. You can sort of do those things ahead of time, which I think can definitely be really helpful.
Yeah, I have a million questions for you, but I guess I'm not interviewing you.
Maybe next time. All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this. Nice and short and sweet. It was great to see you as always. And everybody else will see this soon.
Great seeing you as well. Thank you for having me, and I can't wait for more of our companies to move over to Mercury.
Awesome. Oh, thanks for the little plug at the end.
Yeah,
I'll talk to you soon, Marco.
thank you. Bye.